Hello, peace and blessings. This is the Hard Talk with Jakim. I'm your host, Jakim. So listen, I'm chilling out here today in the basement. So I said I'm going to do this particular thing on a very important topic to me, a very important topic to a lot of people here in Delaware, a lot of people around the world and in America. Very important topic. First, you're gonna see some clips of good people doing good things in Delaware. You're gonna see that I'm giving to elevate people who don't normally get elevated. You know, the people who aren't invited to the award ceremonies or isn't a politician trying to trick people into believing they're good for them. And they're just out there doing the real good work. And I gotta give props to those people that's doing that. The second thing I'm going to talk about is strong black men. Now, this is a long time coming that people have been writing me, been emailing me to talk about strong black men. Now, if you think I'm going to talk about strong black men and I'm going to talk about something that's anti-gay, I'm not going to talk about that. That doesn't bother me, doesn't have nothing to do with me. What you do in your bedroom got nothing to do with me. I'm not gay, but I respect your ability to be gay. So that got nothing to do with me. What I'm talking about is sellouts. What I'm talking about is stop going for guys and gals, but let's stay with the guys only. Stop going for guys and gals who are about the dollar, who have no integrity. Stop voting for them. Stop putting them in positions of power and then wonder why your organizations are bad. Let me give you a perfect example. I don't know how it is in other parts of the country, but it's like that in a lot of places. Believe me, what's going on here in Delaware is really not different than what's going on in Indiana or any other spot. Let me just say this. Most of our black organizations are not functioning at a high level. There's a reason why. Now, let me tell you a reason why. Poor leadership. 100%. If anybody tell you anything else, financials, yeah, that may be a part of it. Greed, integrity, yes, all of that. And guess what? All of that comes right back around to poor leadership. And most of your poor leadership is because you don't have strong leaders. If you do not have a strong leader, your organization is going to be it's going to falter. It's never going to prosper. You're always going to be begging for politicians to be your honorees or something because this way I can get another $2,000 from them, pennies from them. Or getting somebody else to give an award for somebody who's doing detrimental stuff to the community. This is the reason why. Poor leadership. And poor leadership has, in our communities, especially in the African American community, has been part of our problem for 70 years. Poor leadership. No, we're not talking about Martin. We're not talking about Malcolm. We're not talking about all the great people like Medgar Evers or Betty Shabazz or Coretta Scott King. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about them. I'm talking about the people under them that you know in your neighborhood that have no integrity. None. I wouldn't even let them around, if I have no young daughters now, but I wouldn't even let them around my young daughters because they have no integrity. And then you'll name them in leadership positions, and guess what happens? You know what happens. The thing happens all the time. Mr. Councilman has now been indicted for this. Miss Councilwoman has been indicted for that. State rep has been indicted for this. And state senator has been indicted. This is what happens. You're electing people based upon votes and likability and not about leadership. So that's what happens. Listen, we have to change this. This has to change. And we cannot go on and you know, I wasn't going to say anything about Black History Month, even though it's February. I wasn't going to say anything about this Black History Month. But I'm going to say this just one thing. Black History Month is every month. Y'all know that. I'm black every month. And I want to leave you on this before I show you some clips. If you're not following me on Instagram, if you're not following me on Twitter, if you're not on Delaware Info Now, which is our YouTube page, if you're not on our Facebook page, I'm going to leave you some clips here. But let me leave you with this. And everybody knows that I'm pretty adamant about our politics. Really, I don't like to call it politics so much as about that I want to call it civics. Civics is very important to me. Politics is secondary to my blackness. So I'm going to leave you with that. Peace and blessings. Check out these good videos, and I'll be back later on to talk about strong black men. Peace.
YSM Insurance. Let us help to put the pieces together. Have you been thinking about Medicare insurance coverage? Life is full of important decisions, but you don't have to make this one alone. YSM Insurance. We would be happy to meet with you one-on-one to discuss your needs. Please contact us at 302-229-6376. YSM Insurance for your Medicare options. We are Kamaj Entertainment and Fitness.
Hey, good morning. How you doing, family? This is Jakim Muhammad from the Hard Talk with Jakim. Listen, it's that time of year where I actually do the good people and good thing list of 2019. Man, I just saw some lists from some people and it was just political nonsense. Man, their list was terrible. Doesn't matter whether it was progressives or conservatives, doesn't really matter. Their list was terrible. My list is going to be the honest analysis. So, first thing I want to do is say, welcome to 2020. And I want you to think about this before I get to some of the names on the list. How do you define social progress? Really? How do you define it? Is progress the same way, social progress, the same way as I work out in the morning and that little bit of progress that we get every day? Or are you looking for major changes? Are you looking for real things that's going to impact your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren? Are you looking for those real things? I am. So let me just get to my list real quick. The first 5 names on here, no particular order, nobody. First thing I'm going to do is say, I'm a big shout out to the 16th RD Democratic Committee. Y'all have been doing some great work. Of course, I'm the chairman of it, so I'm a little biased on it. But yeah, we've been doing some great work. So big shout out to Josie Roy, Carmela Crawford, Ron Handy, Yolanda Muhammad, Shantella Taylor, Edgar Harrison, and the list goes on. We have a lot of great people. So I didn't see them on anybody's list as much stuff as we've been doing. Let me give you another shout out. Carlos Dupree. Carlos has been in all these things that we've been in on the 16th RD area, in the Route 9 corridor. He's been to all those things. He didn't make the progressives list. You know why? Because you don't know him, because he's been doing the work and he hasn't been sitting up in any progressive's face and saying, I want to run for something, but I'm not doing any groundwork. That's why I put Carlos on. Let me give you another one. NCBW. I like what them sisters been doing. They, especially in 2019, you partner with some really crappy people and crappy organizations that are all about political wrangling and all that, and mostly a political cowardice. But NCBW, y'all did some fantastic stuff. Let me just tell you one more before we go to 2 more. First, I ain't got to tell you, Marie Reed, she's also part of 16th RD. We love you. You're doing a great work in Southbridge. Keep it up. Mary Douglas Bailey, hey, listen, you can't do all this great work without having a good counselor. So I love all the stuff that she's doing for the community. Not political wrangling, for the community. And let me just give you one more. This one is going to piss some people off, because when I saw he was left off those progressive lists, I was like, wow, that's crazy. All right, the Civic League of Newcastle. The Civic League of Newcastle. You're doing some great work over there. Bill Dunn, Nancy Willings, R.J. Miles, all those fantastic people over there. You're doing some great work. And I applaud you for what you did in 2019. And, you know, that August 28th debacle over there by Minquidel when they did that little landfill and all the politicians came out and then they turned their backs on them. They made a deal. But we're going to talk about it. But I will give you that. Now, those are just 5 or 6 people. I still got a lot to go. So stay tuned for more of it. Peace and blessings to you. So let me just leave you with this. I want y'all to step up, stand up, and I want y'all to speak out, because that political cowardice is all over Delaware. We need to get rid of it. We need to make sure that you become, and Delaware becomes the state that it should, the first state of these United States. Peace and blessings to all y'all. Listen up for more. Peace. Hey, peace and blessings, family. How you doing? This is Jakim Muhammad. Listen, I'm downstairs. You see this crazy background here. We're going to have a party at the end of this month. So we're actually just doing a little bit of stuff. So listen, this is part 2 of good people doing good work, good people doing good things in Delaware. So I did say I was going to release it yesterday, but I'll release it today. So if you're not watching, remember we come on LAPA TV at 1:30 today. I'll be on that with the hard talk, and then Yolanda will be on with the real talk. Is great because she's got a great show with Wilmington Senior Center, Alicia Clark. So let me give you the real deal. So the first people I want to give today on part 2, on part 2 is Rochelle Wilson. I like what you're doing. You're doing good work. Keep it up. Mike Cazzetta. Every organization has to have a Mike Cazzetta because he comes out there in pain, comes out there to speak and stand up for the community, and I love you for that, buddy. I'm going to give it out a big shout out to, I'm a little partial towards it, the LAPA producers, LAPA TV, you know, the people that used to be on Channel 28 and now they're on Channel 190 Comcast. Yes, we're going to give it to all of those producers. There's a ton of them, from Charles Potter and Velda Potter and Dwayne and Shauna and Josie Roy and Yolanda and me, of course, and so many, Omar and Abin and all the people that work with there, the Congos, Trippy, all of them sent. Who else am I missing? Charles Brittingham, I'm missing him. I'm missing all the people that were involved with LAPA. If you thought that fight was only about that we were fighting against DETV or Ivan, that wasn't the issue. That wasn't the main issue. The main issue is quieting a well-established Black-owned business because of political things. So I'm giving a big shout out to them. They was fighting a good fight, and they still fighting that fight, and we still are. Let me give you a big shout out of somebody who's personally doing a lot of great things in Delaware. That's Kirsten Walters. She's fantastically doing a lot of good. Same thing with Iz Barletto. Listen, you know, to my Hispanic brothers and sisters, you know, since I'm from Nueva York, you know, I was born and raised in Brooklyn, you know, being with Hispanic and Latinos, all that, it's all part of the New York experience. So is being with the Italians, so is being with Jewish, so is being with Indian and people from West Indian Caribbean. So big shout out to Iz. This was made to do one thing, to elevate people who don't get elevated. I am so sick, and you have got to be sick and tired of these people, especially when it comes to Martin Luther King holiday, and when it comes to, oh my God, Black History Month. We keep elevating people who ain't out there doing the work. We just elevating what we call politicians. So this is part 2. I've got about 6 more people that we're going to get. So stay tuned. Maybe your name is on it. Peace and blessings. Y'all have a great day.
YSM Insurance. Medicare insurance coverage? Life is full of important decisions, but you don't have to make this one alone. YSM Insurance. We would be happy to meet with you one-on-one to discuss your needs. Please contact us at 302-229-6376. YSM Insurance for your Medicare options.
So today I'm here with my man Keon, my man Nudie. Y'all know them. Y'all see them all over. They doing big things in Wilmington, man. Give them a shout out, man, for them J-Pops.
Oh, thank you. Summer J-Pops, as you know it is, we're the first all-natural, certified vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, kosher-friendly ice pop company. We're building healthy communities. It starts with you, and we're doing it statewide. Let's make it pop.
All right, Nudie, go ahead, baby.
Oh man, I'm here supporting my guy, man, Summer J Pops, man. It's the only pop that you need to be popping. That's it.
So we're going to have it here with Real Talk with Yolanda on our channel coming up, which is
Apple 190.
all right.
YSM Insurance. Let us help to put the pieces together. Have you been thinking about Medicare insurance coverage? Life is full of important decisions, but you don't have to make this one alone. YSM Insurance. We would be happy to meet with you one-on-one to discuss your needs. Please contact us at 302-229-6376. YSM Insurance for your Medicare options.
Now, back to the hard talk with Jakim.
So let's get into it, family. Listen, we have a lot of wonderful allies. Now, someone said this, and I'm just going to repeat it, and they're absolutely right. We have a lot of wonderful allies in Dover. We have a lot of wonderful allies in county council, city council, and then we got a lot of flakes. Yeah, we've got a lot of people that they seem to be multiplying, that do not have the community's best interests at heart, whether it be your voters or your constituents, because I rarely call them leaders. If you are doing your community bad, you're not a leader. So all I'm saying is that there are a lot of good people in Dover, and I'm going to give a big shout out to Representative John Kowalko. He's one of the good guys. I think he is one of the good guys, and I've seen John at many, many, many rallies where other people did not have the chutzpah, the cojones to come out. So a big shout out to him. So let me get into this. I did say I was going to do an ADOS. This is for my daughter Jasmine. She really wants me to do an ADOS segment. I'm going to do that ADOS segment with a bunch of people. I don't just want it to be Jakim Muhammad or the hard talk from me. And if you don't know what ADOS is, that's a bunch of people who believe that slavery and reparations should be for the American descendants of slavery. In other words, if you have family that's Jamaican or Caribbean or African, you are not part of the ADOS family, and you should not be considered in reparations. Let me tell you something. I am going to have a show with that. And I want to have a show with a bunch of people with a bunch of ideas. So you won't just hear from mine, which you're definitely going to hear, but you won't just hear from me. So I will do the ADOS show. I'll probably do it in September, either on TV or online or in your social media. I do have, and we're almost on a 4-minute thing. I want to say this. I am no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I will change the things I cannot accept. That was from Sister Angela Davis, and that is exactly how we feel about what's going on. Now, real quick, the other side. Real quick, I put up a post about parking and people getting booted in Wilmington. And man, did it garner some information and garner some stuff. So if you have been booted, if you have been giving a parking ticket unfairly in Wilmington, I'm not talking about, you was parked over there and you were going to run into Jimmy John's or someplace over there on Market Street and you got a ticket. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about if you've been unfairly ticketed, if you've unfairly been booted, if you think this is just another black tax or poor people's tax, please give me a shout out. Give me my wife said I got to stop giving out my phone number because I get a lot of phone calls. I've been getting a lot of phone calls in the last 2 weeks. So I'm going to give you my email address. The email address should be on the bottom here in post-production. It's jmohammed, JMOHAMME 9797 at gmail.com. If you have any of those things, if you got any pictures, if you got pictures of the government not doing the right thing, send those to me as well, because we're going to get it. Let me just say this when we're at the 5-minute mark. Civic media is important. Civic media is important because a lot of us are led by donkeys. Oh, let me say it again. A lot of our political elected officials, no matter what party, Republican or Democrat or liberal or whatever, or libertarian, led by donkeys. So the only way we can hold them accountable is to make it the only thing that we have, the voice of the people. So that's important for me. Well, if you know, you've been looking at some of my stuff. I've been back and forth in New York City for some personal things and for business things. So we're trying to put together a couple of things. And I was just told that, you know, we shouldn't complain so much about the people that's in charge. And I don't subscribe to that. Never did, never will. Because I don't think you're anointed or appointed. I think the Lord Almighty gives you a voice. You're supposed to speak the truth in that platform. Truthfulness and thoughtfulness is important to me. So just let me leave you with this. I am going to have a couple of different shows, and we're going to have some guests on the show. We're going to have a couple of different shows about what's happening here in Delaware. Even though I've got a lot of people that's watching us from around the country and even international, I want to concentrate on what's happening here, because what's happening here is happening there. Exactly the same thing. When I first came to Delaware, they said, it's the Delaware way. It's the Delaware. Let me tell you something. Delaware way ain't no different than the New York way, Chicago way, Philadelphia way, Louisiana way. People in power want to stay in power. People without power want to get that power. No difference. None. None. We're going to talk about the Black Caucus, Democratic Caucus. I'm going to give you a couple of people. I'm going to actually have some counterpoints. So we're going to talk about all of those things and move forward. Now, I know some of y'all want me to talk about the Channel 28 situation. All I'm going to say about Channel 28 is stay tuned. There's some new things coming. All right, and to all of my people from LAPA, y'all know who y'all are. Y'all know y'all doing the fight. I love you to death. I'm going to leave you with that because we're at 8 minutes, 24 seconds. I just wanted to give you a taste because I think I have another show on Saturday. I think I have a guest on Saturday. We'll see what we're going to do. Y'all peace out, my people, and I'll leave you with this. Freedom requires education and participation. Get involved.
We are Kamaj Entertainment and Fitness.
Talk with Jakim.
Hey, how you doing, family? This is Jakim Muhammad with the Hard Talk with Jakim. Well, today I'm just going to do a simple couple of minutes. I'm going to talk to you about some things in Wilmington and Newcastle, the political. But before I do any of that, let me just say that today is Sunday, early Sunday, so I'm trying to get the work out before I get my day going. And today is LAPA Day. So if you have Comcast 190, if you have Comcast, I want you to check out the fantastic, great shows that are on channel 190 Comcast. That's LAPA TV, channel 190 Comcast. All right, let me get into it. So the first thing I want to say is today, being that it is Sunday, I got a call last night from some people that have been watching. And big shout out to Germany, big shout out to Texas, big shout out to, of course, Delaware, Maryland, New Jersey, all the people that have been responding to the Hard Talk with Jakim, whether I was doing the stuff with the Byron Allen or other stuff that you need to talk. Mr. Byron Allen, let's get that straight. Yeah, I've been getting some talk and some phone calls from around the country about some of our elected officials that are right here in Wilmington, Delaware. Let me just say this, and you've heard me say it before. What's going on in Wilmington is no different than what's going on around the country, in fact, around the world. Let me just give you that. You have these sellouts in the black community that look like us, that have the same skin color, but they ain't the same kinfolk, that are trying to make this a corporate and trying to gentrify so many things. This is the same that's going on in so many places. I got a call from South Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina, and believe you me, it's all over. Whether it be Virginia, South Carolina, it's the same thing. They're trying to move legacy residents out of the cities and move other people who have disposable income. That doesn't always mean white folks. I want y'all to understand that. It doesn't always mean white folks. Because there's a lot of white folks that are struggling just like you and me. They're doing the same thing, trying to survive. What it does mean is the corporate interests. You dig what I'm saying? When we have bus routes, when we should have train routes, that we should have better public transportation. This is what's happening all over the country. Now I'm going to make it hyper local. If you are a candidate for any type of office in Delaware and you do not have an agenda for black folks in the black community, I don't want to talk with you. I don't want to meet with you. I've got no time for you. Let me tell you something. Y'all be ruthless with your time with these politicians. These politicians will waste your time. They give you a couple of hundreds, a couple of thousands of dollars for some stuff, and you know your community need millions because you have been shortchanging us for so long. So I'm just going to say this, and this is reason why I put this out. I have been getting calls from all around the country, and I thank you so much for all those calls all around the country. You're going through the same thing. Doesn't matter whether it's Newark, Delaware, or Newark, New Jersey. Doesn't matter. It's the same type of thing. I want y'all to stay vigilant, and I want y'all to stay on them. The only way we win is that we don't give up. Peace and blessings to everyone. Have a great day.
YSM Insurance. Let us help to put the pieces together. Have you been thinking about Medicare insurance coverage? Life is full of important decisions, but you don't have to make this one alone. YSM Insurance. We would be happy to meet with you one-on-one to discuss your needs. Please contact us at 302-229-6376. YSM Insurance for your Medicare options.
This has been a DIN Media Studios production.